meeting me again, Clem. This is our new location where we're going to be meeting. We're going to have about 2 more meetings after this. And first and foremost, I wanted to apologize because when we met for our initial evaluation, you preferred the name Clem, and I kept calling you Clementine, so...
It's fine.
Okay.
It's either one. It's fine.
Okay. I just wanted to respect your name and what it is you prefer. So, we have that. So, how are you feeling today? How are you doing?
I'm doing alright. I've been going to therapy at the North Central Behavioral Health Systems like we talked about last time. I'm doing one-on-one therapy instead of group therapy. I just like it a little bit better. Maybe someday I'll do group therapy, but I'm liking individual ones right now. Yeah, I'm still staying at the Marriott. I'm not really in a rush to move out of it.
Well, that'll actually answer my first question I was going to ask, is if your housing and your means of shelter are stable and you're fine with it, it's good? Okay. Good to know. That was the first question I was going to ask. Okay. Let's go to follow up. How's everything else going? During our initial meeting, you discussed some pretty heavy topics. You shared some things you realized that contributed to your breakdown. How you found yourself was a result of many things. And I wanted to see, how you have been since then. If there's been any change, if there's anything I can help with. Would you mind sharing with me any updates?
Well, it took a minute, but I did realize that I had an emotional breakdown. Not only because I feel like I don't have any direction in my life because everything has been handed to me, but I have nothing to work for or to work hard for because of my privileged life. And I'm very fortunate for my privileged life, but I have no work experience, I have no job experience, I have no resume, I have nothing besides academics. But you can only get so far in academics. You can't just continue to get PhDs. That's not going to do anything for you.
I understand. If I interpreting what you were saying correctly, so you feel that because of your upbringing, because of just the fortunate privilege that you've had since birth, that you feel that even though it provided you so much, kept you out of harm's way, gave you every great opportunity that a good 99% of the world could not even comprehend, that, in a lack of better words, you had it so good, you didn't know what to do when you didn't have it good, or when you didn't know what to do. When you were telling me from our initial visit, just your achievements and all that you've experienced from birth to, when our initial visit was, that was impressive. You had done so much with your life. You went to a prestigious university. You were in a band, and I imagine to not have that, to not have something to follow, to not have something going on at that moment, I'm under the impression you were struggling with what to do.
Yeah.
You came to Macomb for the Monopoly attractment, and then you were like, well, now what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I just want to make sure I understood that correctly. Between our initial visit and today, I had to do some research about how to better serve you, how to better prepare for this interview, and what knowledge I can share. My results were very slim. When it comes to social work and caring, treating, helping, serving the wealthy, the privileged, not much information.
Yeah.
I had to go ask for some academic help, and even then, what studies I was able to find didn't teach me anything that I did not already know. But for what it is worth, what I can share with you, and I think you probably know this already, but in case you don't, let me share it, is that despite your upbringing, your current situation, you are a person. You have feelings, you have needs, that even if your privilege and success in life brought you great things, that doesn't mean you don't struggle with other things. You know, I'm sure you're aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to let you know that I did as much research as I could, and I'm still looking. In the 7 years that I've been doing this, I see a lot of different people provide solutions and bridges. Like I said, I'm a bridge between person and resource. I've never came across one like you, or I never came across someone like you with a very interesting story. So I'll let you know that I'm still doing what I can to better understand, to better treat and better care, provide support, and I like to think by our next meeting we will have that. Now, in the meantime, so you're going to therapy, one-on-one, and are you having a good relationship with your, I'm assuming, therapist?
Yeah, it's good. I have come to the realization that I don't really relate to a lot of women around me because of the lifestyle that I was brought up in. I knew it before, but I finally verbalized it to my therapist. And it makes more sense now, like after I verbalized it. And so my therapist is helping me with that. It's just, I don't know, like the therapy's hard. It's not like what you see in the movies where there's like a couch and you lay on the couch and then you just express all your feelings, but it's also not like meditation focused coping, which is what I grew up with because of my parents are hippies, and so they don't, like, we just sat in a circle with like crisscross applesauce and meditated until we calmed down. So it's different. It's not like the movies, but it's also not like how it was when I was home. So I have to learn how to be more patient about it and trust the process, that it's going to take time, that it's going to work in the long run.
Well, absolutely. You express that in such a way that makes very much sense to me. And what you said is completely valid. It's not like how it is in the movies. It's also not some creepy or scary doctor that's just trying to dissect every aspect of your life and trying to intrude on your insecurities. So it's good that you recognize that. I'm glad that you've been attending. Some people have a hard time with it. They can't get through the initial intake, or they can't get through the first 3. But I say if you can get through the first 3 appointments, give this therapist or give a therapist a chance, and there's likely a solution. There's likely they can help you with something they can help you with. Like you said, you said you had a hard time understanding, like your fellow woman, your fellow,
It's just because, like, I have not been sexually abused. I have not been emotionally abused. I have not been physically abused. I feel like everyone nowadays has stories, and I don't have any of those stories, so I cannot relate to them, and I feel like I can't help them because I don't know what they're going through because I've never been through it myself. So we're working on that because my therapist says even though I've never been through something traumatic like that, I can still help them, I guess, in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Well, I hope you don't feel like that not being able to relate discredits you or makes you less of a person. I hope you're able to understand that, and I'm sure your therapist has probably informed you on this too.
So we're working on it.
Well, that's good. And what I was going to lead to was that in what little research I could, we were talking about between sex, income, other variations of determined wealth and poor, and that was actually one of the things was that one of my case studies, one of the studies I was reading was that some people would have a hard time where they feel that they don't have a connection to other people yet because they cannot relate, and it makes them feel, would you say it makes you feel out of touch, or it makes you feel kind of isolated?
Just out of touch.
Okay.
Because I don't have the same life experience as other young women.
Now, to understand your fellow woman, Would you consider group therapy maybe to...
Maybe, but not now. Not
Okay.
right now.
Absolutely. There's absolutely no rush for it, and you take your time. And speaking of time, and that's what I wanted to also maybe go over today. So when you're not in therapy, would you mind sharing with me how it is you spend your time? I'm under the impression that you would just stay your whole time in the hotel room watching TV.
No, I take the bus out to the Humane Society and hang out with the animals there. And then I also, it's not my favorite thing, but I do like I go and do like a gardening co-op situation because it reminds me of home. Like it reminds me of my parents and stuff. And even though I don't really like sticking my hand in the dirt, it still reminds me of being at home with my mom and dad and brother. So.
Okay, I mean you're making the best of your time, if I understand. You're being proactive, and you're doing great things with this community. You might not think that cleaning up after dogs and cats, or getting your hands dirty, tilling the soil is beneficial for the community, but you're doing phenomenal things, and I hope you don't lose sight of that. Have you been able to talk with your family since then? I remember the last time we talked, you said your family last knew of your whereabouts when you were on tour.
Yeah. So, I don't know if the police in Macomb had to contact them because I was taken in, not under arrest, but just because I was taken in. But they did end up, I did end up like calling them because it's been like 3 weeks, and they did tell me that they knew that I had been taken in but not arrested, and I made sure to tell them that again. Like, yes, I was taken in, but I was not booked, I was not arrested, it was just for safety. And they wanted to come and fly out here, which was nice, but I told them to just stay home because I am going to, like, I came here for a reason, and I'm going to just see that reason through. And I appreciate I appreciate them wanting to come, like, as soon as they could. And of course I miss them, but, like, I need to figure out why I'm here.
Well, I hope they respect your decision, because I sure do.
Thank you.
I'm glad you were able to reconnect with your family, or just let them know your current whereabouts. I understand that you've always had a close connection ties to them, but I imagine from what you were telling me, you may have been hesitant to tell them about what recently happened, because yeah, it can be embarrassing. I get that, but I'm glad you let them know. And I'm not a parent, but I imagine a parent would be really concerned, and that was why they probably wanted to fly out here and just like, all right, let's take you home and get you out of here. But I'm proud of you for making the step, the hard decision to continue here, given your circumstances. Is there anything that you would like to share at this time? Is there anything I can further help you with?
No, I'm just gonna continue doing weekly therapy sessions. I'll take the bus there. That's pretty much it. Nothing really is, just like, I haven't like drank any, since then or anything, like nothing's really changed, like, negatively.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I was going to ask if there has been any alcohol consumption since, but from what you were telling me in our last meeting, I was under the impression that I said that really was not a common occurrence.
No, it's not.
So that's good. You seem like you're on the right path. You're still learning. You're in some kind of discovery phase, but you're on the right path to success. And I think it is wonderful that you've even made these steps, that you've met with me today, because it is not always easy. So, okay, well, a month from now, so about 4 weeks, we're going to be in this location, and I'm really looking forward to not only sharing with you what I've learned to better serve you or to better help you, but to hear of your progress, because I just look forward to each and every client that I serve. Everyone shares with me something new and interesting. So at this moment, do you have any questions? Okay. All right, well, we will conclude this meeting. You have a good rest of your day, and I will see you then.
Thank you.